but just bear with us. We've got a few stragglers who couldn't quite bear not to finish their workshops, so, which is a good thing, right? Thank you. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I hope, well, I can kind of tell from the atmosphere around here and the big, huge smiling faces that I could see looking back at me, that you've had an awesome afternoon, as much as I have. I feel sorry for you lot at home. You should come next time, because we had a lot of fun. I hope you managed to have some fun whilst we were busy with our workshops and our lab session, which we're going to give you a bit of a rundown now. So really, just to sort of like finish off the day, we're going to summarise and share a few of our thoughts and ideas with you. So please welcome back now to start that session off, Lance Weiler.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so, well, the one thing, everybody has a card, right? Hopefully, does everybody have a card? Yeah. Okay, you guys don't have cards? Okay, well, we all need a card. What we're going to do is we're going to do kind of what's known as a checkout, and we do this in the labs that we run. And I'm just interested if you guys could just take a moment and think about the one thing that you want to carry forward and use in your own work, the one thing that you want to not leave here in this space, and if you could write it down. Write down that one thing that you would carry off and you'll use or apply in some way. That would be awesome.
I'm busy writing it on my phone because I haven't got a card.
Do you want clarification? Yeah. It's the one thing. You're just going to write down one thing that you're going to take forward and use in your own work. From here. Yeah, yeah. That came to you over the last 2 days, if you were here 2 days or today or whatever. Some insight.
So maybe when you've done, just like hold your piece of paper up, just sort of like, just so we know, not right up in the air, but just so we know how many
Flaunt
people
it
have been here.
to everybody else that's not finished.
On. No, I finished, you haven't.
Own it.
Own it, exactly.
Okay, we'll give another moment or two for that. Can I see a show of hands, like who's completed it now? Well, that looks pretty good. So now that you guys have completed that, and since you have your hand up still, I think you're volunteering. Can you, sir? Yes, would you be willing to share what you wrote down?
Yeah, I can read it.
Do we have a microphone? Stick mic? Just wait for the microphone so the people at home aren't left out yet again.
Hello, people at home. I have glimpsed new discovered lands in which I can play, learn, and earn.
Oh, nice.
Very nice, very nice. Anybody else willing to share what they have?
There's over there, Kai.
So my comment is, I think I've learned, and I want to keep, the importance of failing fast and not fading fast, and approaching anyone and everyone with a smile and a story.
Very nice.
Beautifully put.
Anybody else? Oh, there's some gentlemen here.
Two in the middle, that's good. That's economy of microphone travelage. That is a technical term, yes. Anyone wants to argue?
Hello. My one thing is make more introductions. The most fun I've had has been introducing people who I think might get along or might have something that they can work on together.
Ah, you're a connector.
And that's, yeah, why bother making things when you can just make other people make things?
Brilliant.
Yeah, I got the idea of how to use digital media and sort of interactive media to help convey the message of what is sort of happening to LGBT communities around the world, which helps me with my lobbying work.
Brilliant.
can I
Can I
continue?
ask, Lance, what was yours? Well, I mean, because you obviously do these all the time, but I guess they're different every time you do them, right? So have you taken anything new from this particular collective?
Yeah, I mean, I think that each time we go to a different city, it's different, and the way in which the event operates is different. I think what's always exciting and it's common is there's an openness to ideas and experimentation, which is really quite wonderful. And I think out of this particular time, what I really like is the idea of the immersive quality and what we covered in terms of some of the use of both VR, but then the ability for reflection, and thinking about how you can have spatial narratives and how those spatial narratives play out, and really kind of thinking about the way in which you can use them to, which I had kind of talked about, that contextual layer, but I think that idea of spatial narratives and the way that people flow through with learning journeys is very interesting, you know, and I'll definitely take those things forward. Anybody else? Oh, you didn't get a chance to talk, did you? Okay.
Yeah, what I really liked and would like to pass on or continue is to work together with people across professions and disciplines.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
So mine would be to remember to turn all spaces of learning into spaces of creative expression.
Okay, very cool. Is anybody else on this side? We have all been on this side. Oh, okay, we have one person there.
Hi. Floating on an airbed in a creative, immersive environment. Well, I'd like to have written that, but I did actually get a good line on how to involve audiences in participation, which is absolutely priceless. Thanks.
Okay, great. Anybody else on this side? One last one, and then we can stop.
One.
Oh, there we go.
are.
Thank you.
Well done.
In our last session, I think we helped solve a real problem for a social enterprise that was looking into how deaf kids could learn to communicate. And so that was really rewarding to do something practical that could make a difference.
Very cool, very cool. And one last question, you can just show a show of hands. Did anybody meet somebody that they might collaborate with in the room? Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Okay, well, just kind of in closing from my part, and then I'll pass it over to Kate for some reflections from her. I think I want to say that you know, I want to personally thank Ravensbourne, and I want to thank Nina. Nina, where are you? Nina, can you stand up? I think everybody should give Nina a round of applause for her tireless efforts, and you know, definitely want to thank the team here and all the students who operated everything in the back there, the cameras, all the stuff. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all your help. And I want to personally thank all you guys for coming into a collaborative space and being willing to experiment and to kind of push what's possible. I think what's exciting when we do these events is that we want to experiment. I originally kind of started these because I felt a frustration that there wasn't a place to be able to develop work the way that I wanted to, and I felt like a lot of that was permission-based. And there would be years that would go by between projects, and I wanted to just be able to create things. I wanted to be able to test things. I wanted to be able to try those things. And the feeling that the more that you could share the learnings and what didn't work and what did, the faster maybe a category would emerge, or people would be able to learn from the failures of others. And so I think when you come into the space and you're willing to collaborate, you help us to kind of achieve that goal. And I think the number of hands that were raised in terms of people that will collaborate is really exciting to me, because what I hope happens, and what we've seen over the last 7 years, and if we treat it out, there are all these amazing collaborations that have come together and people have done really wonderful work. So thank you for stepping into the space and for opening yourself up to the process. We appreciate that. And please let us know what you're working on and what you're doing, because often, a lot of times, people who come and sit, and our participants end up coming back and sharing wonderful things that they've made with us and share their knowledge and things. So I want to thank everybody for that, and I want to thank Kate too for all her help and helping to keep everything running. So I'll turn it over to you, and I'll let you wrap us up.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Lance. So yeah, I always feel slightly guilty when I've had so much fun at work, right? It's kind of, but it is supposed to be fun. And I said this to Lance just now, and he's like, well, it's supposed to be fun, right? And all through my life, I found that, you know, in my own life and also in my interactions with education and training, people take on so much more when they're having fun, when they feel like they're being part of the experience rather than just having information delivered to me. And this is really what's resounded with me here over these 2 days. And more than that, I think for me, one of the things that I've really taken away, and I want to personally thank Lance and his crew at the Future Labs workshop, and we did the lab for 2 days, and I just want to explain to you what was going on there. So they have this sort of like way of looking at a problem or a story or approaching your content, which I have defined personally as walking into a room backwards. So you know when you walk into a room normally, you experience the room in a linear fashion. You walk in through the door, you walk up to the door and you see the global picture of the room. As you approach the room and you step through the door, you perhaps hear the conversation as a big babble. You maybe then start to smell the experience. And then you'll get smaller, sort of like micro snippets of conversation, and you'll notice small groups of people. And that's the way we experience walking into a room. But when you use the process that we've been doing over the lab over the 2 days, you kind of approach the issue backwards. So when you walk into a room backwards, you hear it first, you don't see it. Then you may smell it, and then as you walk backwards through the door, you'll see the small groups of people, and you're here. So you kind of experience it from a completely different perspective, and only do you see the whole room when you've reached the back wall and you're looking at it, and you've already had that whole experience. And for me, that was what the Wheel of Reasoning did for me, was it really helped me to understand that walking into a problem, walking into an idea backwards can give you a completely different experience and an end result. So that, for me, is going to resonate with me for the rest of my life, and it's going to be useful throughout the projects that I'm working on, creative or otherwise. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And it was just brilliant to meet all of you. You know, everybody stepped up to the plate and experienced it in the best way that they could and took part. Nobody was sitting there going, oh, I don't really know if I want to join in. So just brilliant. Now, I do want to, Chris Sizemore, I did promise you that I was going to do this. So Chris Sizemore set us a little challenge with our hashtag earlier on in his talk, and I kind of like the ones that we've ended up with. This was the #LearnDoShareGram. Add a word and pass it on. And we can carry this on beyond today. So I hope we'll do that. So Becky Brand finished with, London is where I like to get lost in translation, babbling incoherently at pigeons. Yes, I agree with that. Miraquit Film, I think. I may have pronounced that wrong. London is where I like to get lost into story worlds and find myself reflecting, which is very appropriate for the content. Becky Brand finished with, destined souls only appear when convergent ideas collide. That's quite deep. And finally, I finished this one, not quite as deep as Becky's. Underground stations are possibility spaces for silly shenanigans. So on your way home today, just make sure you do at least one silly shenanigan in the underground, and I will be very happy. But don't tell them I told you to do that, because then I'll be in a whole lot of trouble. Okay, so I'm just going to round off now with a few notices. There was a competition run, and although she doesn't want the spotlight on her, I am just going to say, to embarrass her from within, Mary won the competition with the Pink Pony, which is a collective design studio that uses play to work with local communities. And she has won an 8-month incubation here at Ravensbourne and mentorship from Chris Sizemore. So that's really an awesome prize. So yeah, congratulations to Mary, who shall remain shrouded in mystery, as was her. But you can find out more about that competition on the Learn, Do, Share website. Don't embarrass her, leave her As with all of the content here, you know, the streaming content, the videos, the photographs, people's thoughts, I'm sure there's going to be a storify of the tweetage. That's all going to be in resident and available to you. So if you missed noting anything down through any of the presentations, any of the books that you wanted to get, then do go along to the Learn, Do, Share website, and you can pick that up and watch it at your leisure, where you'll also find the book that you can download free, which gives you that awesome walk into a room backwards scenario that I was talking about earlier. So there's loads more content that you can enjoy and absorb over the coming weeks and months ahead. The evaluation forms that were in your bag, it's really important that you fill those in for us so that we can do a better job for you next time. You know, it's not just there to make us feel good, although it is nice if you say nice things, obviously. But do give us your feedback and let us know, you know, how we can improve the situation for you, or what you really loved and would like to see more of in the next Learn, Do, Share London, or anywhere else in the world that you happen to go. There's a few more people I want to thank personally. The experienced people out there have been just amazing and have really, you know, they've manned their stations and given everybody as much of an experience of the installations that they want. Robert, in particular, with his Lucy installation, has been really good and has been talking to everyone all day. I'm surprised he's got a voice left still, because the poor man has just had a queue of people waiting to speak to him all day. To the workshop organisers and to the lab people, I think, you know, can we just give them a round of applause, because we really... all of the speakers, you know, it's really been an honour to be on the stage with so many people who are just amazing in their field and have got so much knowledge and openness to share it. But most of all, I want to thank you for being here, because if you weren't, it would be a very lonely stage indeed. I probably would have been shipped off to some kind of institution by now for talking to an empty room for 2 days. And also to those of you joining in at home, because I know a lot of you have, and you've been keeping the conversation going on that hashtag. So, do you know what? Just give yourselves a big fat round of applause, and you at home. Clap, all of you. So yeah, all that is left for me to do is to say thank you so much for putting up with me for 2 days. Thank you for participating. Whatever the weekend holds for you, do it with vigour, do it with fun, but most of all, do it across multiple platforms. Thank you.